I want to show you all the exact moment that Donald Trump essentially incriminates himself on accident. He plays his hand by detailing a private briefing that Attorney General Pam Bondi had with him over the Epstein client list. Now, we've heard reports about this briefing that the Attorney General gave Donald Trump, but we didn't know the contents of it until Donald Trump couldn't help but spill it on the White House lawn moments ago. He details how in this meeting, Pam Bondi showed him varying pieces of evidence with varying levels of credibility, but then Donald Trump immediately tries to undermine the credibility of these files by saying they were written by Obama and Comey. So just to take a step back, first, the files were sitting on Pam Bondi's desk. Then a few months later, the files don't exist. Then Trump tweets out that Obama wrote the files. Now he's standing on the White House lawn saying that during this briefing, whatever he saw in the files spooked him so much that he immediately wants to undermine the credibility of these files. And that's the tell. He wouldn't feel the incessant urge to undermine the credibility of whatever is written in these files if they weren't incriminating. He essentially exposes himself with few words on the White House lawn. I'll play that clip in 1 second, but it all started with Trump being asked about Laura Trump. Let's jump in with this first clip, and then we'll progress.
Mr. President, your daughter-in-law said that there should be transparency in the Epstein case. Do you agree with her, sir?
The Attorney General's handled that very well. She's really done a very good job, and I think that when you look at it, you'll understand that. I would like to see that also, but I think the Attorney General, the credibility is very important, and you want credible evidence for something like that, and I think the Attorney General's handled it very well.
Credibility is very important, and when you lie to the face of the American people en masse and say, I have the files on my desk, then you flip-flop and say they don't exist, then you flip-flop again, then you have zero credibility. It's funny, Trump is dying on this hill of protecting Pam Bondi when the MAGA base, the hardcore MAGA base, hates Pam Bondi. He continues to throw all of his weight behind her when it's really going to blow up in his face even further. Again, the more Trump tries to hide this story, the more it blows up. In the middle of the night, House Republicans stopped the release of the files. Yesterday, the DOJ stopped Ghislaine Maxwell from being able to testify any further. They are trying to cover it up. That's why we relentlessly push back. Make sure you're subscribed to the Adam Mockler feed. Make sure you drop a like. And now let's watch the clip of Donald Trump being asked, hey, did Pam Bondi tell you your name appeared in the Epstein files during this private briefing? And Trump can't help but take the bait. He begins to detail what was said in this private briefing. Take a listen.
On Epstein, the Attorney General briefed you on the DOJ and FBI review, the findings of that review. The Attorney General briefed you on
that. On what? On
the DOJ and FBI
on what?
review.
On what subject?
Epstein, okay. On Epstein, of the review of the files. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
A very quick briefing.
Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen, and I would say that, you know, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden, we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
Dude, I have seen my friends who aren't even paying attention to politics say, wait a minute, how is Trump giving the argument that there are no files, there's nothing in the files, yet there's apparently something so dirty and corrupt in the files that Obama wrote it? He is essentially admitting when he says that Obama wrote the files, that there is something in there that is not looking good for him. Why else would you immediately undermine the credibility and try to say that your opponents are weaponizing these files? It gets worse. In this clip, Donald Trump gets asked about Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff went through some small investigation for having a primary residence in both California and DC. And yeah, politicians shouldn't be above the law. Even if politicians I like are doing stuff, sure, investigate it or whatever. But what Trump's doing is different. He is using the executive branch in a top-down way to call for the investigation of some low-level crime in order to distract from the fact that Trump is committing crimes en masse. Let's watch this.
Mr. President. You want Adam Schiff brought to justice?
I would love to see him brought to justice. I'll tell you what, I think Adam Schiff is one of the lowest of the low. I would love to see him brought to justice. He's a dishonest, crooked guy. I don't know about the individual charge, if that even happens. But Adam Schiff is a serious lowlife. And tomorrow,
do not fall for the distraction. I know I don't have to tell you all this because we're all on the same page, but I just want to make sure we're lockstep. When Donald Trump is saying that other people are crooked, he is trying to divert away from the fact that he is covering up the Epstein investigation. He tried to coup the effing Capitol. He stole documents. He tried to pressure election officials. There were 4 different investigations ongoing because of all the insane corruption. And even in his second term, he has a Trump coin, a Melania coin. He took a $400 million jet from Qatar for his presidential library. The corruption is insane. I do not want to hear anything about Adam Schiff. If there is a separate investigation that Trump has nothing to do with, then that is separate. But the fact that Donald Trump is weaponizing not only the Justice Department to hide documents, but the executive branch to try to investigate people is absurd. Here's Donald Trump responding to a question about inflation ticking up, and guess what he does? He just attacks the Fed.
From the Labor Department saying that inflation rose slightly last month.
very slight. Essentially, they were exactly as anticipated, very low inflation. So what you should do is lower the rate. The Fed should lower the rate immediately.
Is it because of tariff?
The Fed should lower the rate immediately. Even when Donald Trump is telling his Epstein lies, like the clip from a few moments ago, I have this screenshot. This was Caroline Leavitt. This was her face while Donald Trump was lying about the Epstein cover-up. Notice how she's been wearing her cross less. I don't know if that actually means anything, but I'd like to imagine these people are a little bit ashamed. Here's Donald Trump engaging in some casual misogyny as the president of the United States. The reason I know it's misogynistic is because Trump loves to attack just a few key members of Congress, and they're always women. Jasmine Crockett. He calls AOC low IQ. Then he'll attack Rashida Tlaib. It's also racist. I just realized these are also all women of color. He gets asked about AOC and Zoran having breakfast this week and if he would like to go. What a weird question.
I'd love to be. I'd really love to go. I mean, I look forward to meeting them both.
He wasn't invited.
I know them both very well through what I read and through what I see. Look, he's a communist. I don't think our country is ready for a communist, but we're going to see. And I don't think that race is over yet either. You do have a couple of people running against, and it'll be an interesting thing. Things are coming out about him which aren't good. And, you know, AOC, look, I think she's very nice, but she's very low IQ. And we really don't need low IQ. Between her and Crockett, we're going to give them both an IQ test to see who comes out best. Now,
that's gotta be misogynistic. He's like, I'm gonna find 2 women of color and call them really, really stupid.
I took my test. I took a real test at Walter Reed Medical Center, and
He's bragging about a cognitive decline test. He took a test to see if he has cognitive decline. That's not a brag. That is not a brag whatsoever. Trump is then asked about a report that he told Zelensky that he would be okay with Zelensky hitting Moscow with a strike. Honestly, I'm okay with that.
Russia, 50 days. What happens now? Do you talk to Vladimir Putin?
well, at the end of 50 days, if we don't have a deal, it's going to be too bad.
But what happens?
Should Zelensky get more aggressive?
Yeah, the tariffs are going to go on, and other sanctions go on.
Should Zelensky target Moscow? Should Zelensky target Moscow, sir? Should Zelensky target Moscow or deeper into Russia?
No, he shouldn't target Moscow.
Is that why you gave him more weapons, though?
The top comment on this thread reads, I can't figure out Trump's strategy with Ukraine. Here's the thing. There is no strategy. I don't even think it's that Trump is bought off by Vladimir Putin. I think Trump has a narcissistic obsession with Vladimir Putin, and he thinks Vladimir Putin is his friend. He thinks that all dictators are his friend when Vladimir Putin has been laughing at him over and over throughout this entire war. For the past 6 months, Vladimir Putin has been laughing in Trump's face as he escalates drone strikes to levels never seen under the Biden administration. And Trump literally sits there and flip-flops his stance every other day and acts like he has a coherent view on the war. It pisses me off. Let's keep the pressure on with the Epstein list. If you want more videos, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe below. That tells me that you guys want me to continue exposing this story. I'll see you all in the next one, and peace out.